You are now watching Lesage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Lesage here, word up. Today we are going to be covering over Eternatus VMAX. So Etern's one of those decks where it was up here, rotation happened, then no one really played it. Well, it actually made a huge appearance at a recent major Pokemon event from Daichi Shimeda. So I'm going to be covering over their list today in this channel. Shout out to them for keeping Etern real in the post-rotation formats. If anything else needs to change about this list, I'll probably update the deck again, but right now this is a very new way to play the deck, and it could be the best way to play Eternatus right now. The list is in the description, so feel free to copy and paste that right now into PTCGO, playtest around with it, and upload those game logs to objectivedeck.com. It's a project I've heavily worked in, so if you haven't got a chance to check it out already, go to objectivedeck.com and try it out. Beyond that, give this video a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. We just passed 5,800. Can we get to 5,900? Please, 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 please. And let me know in the comments below what you think about this deck. Let's jump into the list and see exactly what's going on. So here's the list, and it looks weird. At first you're like, okay, so we got the Eternatus VMAX strategy going on, and we have Eternal Zone, where we're just building up our bench with a lot of Pokemon, and we're doing Dread End for 270. That part seems normal. We lost Weavile GX. We no longer have any of the tag team auxiliary attackers that we'd have. And our deck's just absolutely vibing. We see that there's some similar cards. We got the Galarian Moltres V. So you can still get energies back from the discard pile. There's no energy switch in sight. So this is just a backup attacker for Aura Burn. And it's a really good bench sitter. I mean, why not have a bench sitter that can self-accelerate energy to it and give it itself a potential attacking option. Strong against Zamazenta V as well. Now we start getting a little bit weird, where we see the Umbreon VMAX. Like, this is a card that a lot of people are like, oh yeah, this is easily fitting in Eternatus. And I mean, you're not wrong, so it's not entirely weird. It just gives you a way to gust up your opponent's Pokemon. You're probably not going to be using Max Darkness too much. You might be able to use Mean Look a little bit on Umbreon V, so it fits in with the Darkness theme. But the card that kind of made things, like, scratch my head was the Galar Mine. So the retreat cost of both active Pokemon is now double colorless more. This deck needs an out to path, and I've seen some lists play Old Cemetery, because at the time there's not a lot of great stadium cards to be playing in this deck. So Galar Mine's a really good out to path. It does increase your retreat. You can see that I'm struggling to even, like, say the words. It does increase your retreat costs and your opponents. But you have Hiding Darkness energy, so it would have no retreat costs. Gives you a way to kind of zip and zoom between the 4 copies of Switch, the 3 copies of Hiding Darkness energy, and then you're relatively good with that. Now, the other thing that this deck can do now is gust something up and leave it stranded there with Galar Mine. And maybe you want to use Liepard as a searchable way to discard their air balloon that can maybe get around Galar Mine. So that's kind of cool. You also have Qwilfish, which can just sit there and your opponent might not be able to get around it, or they might just be stuck attacking into it. You can just kind of block them with Bursting Needles. So I mean, I guess the way to best describe this deck is it's an Eternatus deck true to its core, with some disruption cards added into the mix that allow that kind of like throw random conditions at your opponent. I mean, increasing the retreat cost and gusting your opponent's Pokemon up and discarding their tool card and maybe giving them some kind of splash damage really adds up while your deck is relatively unaffected by it. It's a really interesting strategy, so we're going to see how it works, but this is the most successful Eternatus deck that we've seen so far, coming 9th place at the Celio Stats tournament. So, super cool. We're going to give it a whirl on the Versus ladder and see what's going on. Alright, we're going to call the coin flip, and we won the coin flip, so that's kind of hype. Yes, we do want to go first. Like most other decks in this format, we want to go first. And this looks like a pretty great start for Etern. So we're going to start with Etern V. And we're ready to just, like, kind of attack into our opponent next turn. I actually picked these ones up as someone who's newly got into Bling. I didn't know how I felt about the whole black and gold cards. I kind of like it for the Etern deck, especially since it is a dark type Pokemon. So, our opponent playing Sobble means that they could be playing pretty much any deck in this format. But let's go ahead and put down our other Pokemon. This is just a bench filler we have Umbreon V in case we got an Umbreon VMAX, and we're just going to attach a Dark Energy to the Eternatus V. So we're going to pass here. I totally realized that I forgot to put in my nice, I have the gold Darkness Energies. Oh, what? So we are playing against a fighting type deck. This can be a little bit awkward. Our goal now should just be to isolate our opponent's fighting type Pokemon and try to knock them out as quickly as possible. So regardless of energies that I'm probably going to switch in between games because, I mean, why not flaunt them if you got them? We're going to go after their fighting type Pokemon. So our first step here is to evolve, and we have the energy already. So like we have most of the pieces there. When you're playing E-Turn, you want to figure out how many Pokemon you need to have in play to knock out your opponent's Pokemon. And they have 200 HP, so 200 times, or divided by 210. So we need to do 210 to knock them out, and we need to have 7 Pokemon in play. We have 3, so that means we need to get 4 more. We have a Crobat in our hand, and I think we're going to go with Crobat already, because both of these options would allow us to draw a lot of cards. But I wouldn't necessarily be able to draw a lot of cards off Crobat after playing a Research, and I don't necessarily think it's worthwhile to play a Marnie. So let's go with Crobat V here. See what this offers us with the Great Ball. At this point, I'm going to go for another Umbreon V because I think Gusting can be quite important in this matchup. The Zigzagoon could be cool if it was going to help us get closer to the knockout. With only 2 Zigzagoons, we'd have to find both. But now we are a Pokemon closer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need to find 2 Pokemon and an Umbreon VMAX off of this Research in order to gain the benefits. So we're probably a little bit off no matter what we do here. But let's start getting the Galarian Moltres V set up. At this point, we can decide what we want to do with Great Ball. I don't really see any reason why not to play Great Ball. We do have the VMAX that I do think is worthwhile to grab. We're going to put another Galarian Moltres V. You can see that this Pokemon is not weak to fighting. This Pokemon's also not weak to fighting, so that could be certainly cool. But there's no reason for us not to take a knockout. I don't think that their deck necessarily poses an OHKO in response. I don't think they're going to knock us out, so we're not heading into the LYCANROC V because it's not going to do enough. And maybe it will. It's one of those things where, like, maybe our opponent will respond for an OHKO. I don't think Lycanroc VMAX does a lot. I don't think that this Lycanroc necessarily poses a huge threat. Zinnia's Resolve is certainly a good card to play against an Eternatus deck because we have that full bench. So they're going to draw a lot of cards, but we could follow it up by playing a Marnie this upcoming turn. And we can finally see what this card does. Yep, so knock out one of your opponent's Pokemon in play that has 60 HP or less remaining. And if they start using Max Edge, we're probably in a little bit of trouble, but I don't know how they're ever going to get us to a Max Edge. I think they're looking to go Inteleon, reduce our HP, and then attack us. So there's probably someone in the comments like, Zach, you could have brought up a Lycanroc V and attacked it, and then they would have evolved it. Now, they might not have evolved it, and that's really the thing that we need to be talking about. So depending on how they play out this matchup is how we're going to play out this matchup. We might attack into the VMAX now that we've prompted them to evolve. They can't necessarily unevolve, so that's something to consider. They're using Training Court as a way to just search out an energy. That's actually not a bad strategy. I think I like that a lot with Inteleon decks. So I might steal that for some other decks. I think that's a cute way around energy search and giving yourself an extra stadium card. But let's see. I don't think... Knock out one of your opponent's Pokemon in play that has 60 HP or less remaining. Currently, we have none of those Pokemon in our deck. So it could be a little bit awkward. I haven't really seen too many Lycanroc VMAX decks. Oh, they're building up the one on the bench? Perfect. So we're going to go actually after that one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see that this is going to add the 7th one in play. So let's put the damage counter on something that could matter. Let's go against the Lycanroc VMAX there. I'm going to start slowly building up into an Umbreon. I think that sounds like a good idea. So as much as I said in the video that I'm probably never going to attack with Max Darkness, it does 2-shot a Lycanroc. I'm also not weak to fighting. So word up, that's the plan that we're going to go with. So let's go Umbreon VMAX. And yes, we want to bring up the Lycanroc. So we're going to isolate their energies in this matchup. So even though that I'm not really worried about any huge OHKOs, they could start doing a lot of damage even with like Rock Throw. And we got to watch out for their Galar Mine, or for their Training Courts. So let's go ahead and play our Galar Mine. and just block that. So maybe they're going to have some weird, awkward times retreating. Let's go ahead and go Dread End here. We also have another strategy if they bench another Pokemon. If we don't want to two-shot this LYCANROC VMAX, we can go ahead and eat around their bench. That would actually take more turns, but it is something where if they bench another LYCANROC V, attach an energy to it, we could bring that up. I think we're just going to try to two-shot this LYCANROC VMAX, and we should be pretty effective in doing so, as long as we don't get knocked out this turn. And I don't think we're going to get knocked out this turn. I think our opponents might be able to knock out the Galarian Zigzagoon by placing 2 damage counters on it with Quick Shooting, and then using Hunting Claw to knock it out, which is kind of a cool attack, but I think it's really something that we should be praising a VMAX for knocking out a basic Pokemon for a single energy. I think that most VMAX Pokemon can do a lot of things for 1 or 2 energies. So we'll see exactly what they're grabbing. I wouldn't be surprised if our quick start caused our opponent to concede this game. I also wouldn't be surprised if there was something that I just didn't understand about this deck completely. Also, our drink of choice today is going to be a Trenta Pumpkin Cream Cold Brew. So anyone who watches the vid or anything like that, and you're feeling like you want to donate to the stream, it's going towards coffee season, baby. I'm one of those people. I've become so I don't know if addicted is the correct word. I think I've been in such need of caffeine in the morning that like I could literally nap all day if I do not have my morning coffee. It's bad. I guess that's what happens when you like create videos until like 4 o'clock in the morning every single day. But it is what it is. The life of a Pokemon content creator. I mean, I'm sure there's people who are doing a lot worse things than just enjoying a coffee from their local Starbucks. Okay, so our opponent did get around the Galar Mine. Not that I'm super worried about them getting around Galar Mine. I was really just bumping their training court just cuz. And you can see they did put the other LYCANROC V down, but right now I think they are going to go for Hunting Claw. Hunting Claw knocking out the Galarian Zigzagoon and putting them down to 5 prize cards remaining. Now our goal should just be two-shotting this dude. That's literally what the plan is. Let's just two-shot this Pokemon. We have 3 prize cards left. We've done a heck of a good job in this fighting type matchup. And I know, like, it's a LYCANROC matchup, peeps. I know it's not, like, the craziest matchup that I've ever played against. It's a deck that's... I wouldn't think that LYCANROC's very competitive. But, out of all respect, I think there's a lot of decks like this that are sleeper picks. So, right now we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, that's 180. That's enough for us to get the knockout. So that's kind of cool. Let's go ahead here. It would be easier for us to go knockout and then knockout. But we do have enough outs to just bring that up if our opponent does do anything sneaky. So let's go Galar Mine to stop them from getting out of the active spots. Let's see exactly if there's anything that we want to do with... I don't think Liepard's going to do anything in this matchup. So we're just going to play Liepard down. Let's get another energy there. So we're all set up to just kind of attack. I do have Quick Ball that I want to save for Crobat in case we have Crobats. I don't really want to play Boss. I'm actually just going to hold on to this hand. I think I'm pretty positive that I like this hand. So let's go ahead and go Dread Ends. It's still doing enough for a 2-shot, not a full bench, but you want to give yourself some space here for other things like Crobats. You can see we've only played 1 Crobat down. If things get a little bit shaky, we want to make sure that we have enough spots for Crobat in general. What? Cool. So my strategy, I should have just brought up these Pokemon like I said I would have. So that's kind of the trick. So they're going to start doing a bunch of damage counters, then they're going to Cheryl. And they could probably Cheryl turn after turn after turn after turn after turn, or they might play some kind of gimmick to get back the Cheryls, like Eldegoss or Chatot, Scoop Up Nets, things like that. So I think we need to worry about that a little bit. And we can't necessarily two-shot this Pokemon anymore. They might get out their LYCANROC, another LYCANROC VMAX. I really hope not. Yep. So we're kind of stuck here to just now attacking. So if I could rewind time, my Zac sensors were telling me to go for 2 prize card, 1 prize card. That's exactly the reason, because we're probably never going to one-shot this LYCANROC VMAX again. I don't know if it's ever going to cause us, like, to lose the game. Yeah, they don't even have the energy. So let's go ahead here and I mean, there's really nothing crazy that we top deck. We top deck the Galarmine. Let's just keep on attacking their Pokemon and seeing if they can follow it up with a Cheryl or not. Because from what I understand, if they don't have a Cheryl naturally in their hand, they're going to have find a way to search a Cheryl out. If they don't, they lose the game. So there's only so many Cheryls that they can play. They could play 4 Cheryls in a deck. There's one of them. Game on, right? So, I mean, maybe if they start going triple Inteleon and bring up one of our Pokemon and it gets really dicey, yeah, it could get scary. But let's see exactly if they do have Cheryl available. Yep, there's another Cheryl. They can't play another supporter, so they have to play down an Inteleon to search out an energy. Otherwise, they're just passing again. I'm not losing anything except them doing 20 damage to a Galarian Moltres. And it looks like they're just going to focus. They're not focusing their damage counters, so they're not getting any closer to Hunting Claw. There could be some other tech that I'm missing, but again, we're just going to go ahead and Dread Ends. Boom. We're applying this pressure because our opponent is doing 20 damage and playing a Cheryl. They will run out of Cheryls eventually. At least I hope so. There could be... I don't think there's really a way to loop Cheryl indefinitely. Okay, cool. So there's the Inteleon. Most decks, I don't think they'd play 4 Cheryls. But if we hit a 4 Cheryl deck, this would certainly be a weird one, right? Echoing Horn. Yeah, they might just be trying to draw an extra prize card. Yeah. Okay. Boss's orders, cool. We'll have to find a way out of this situation because we have 4 retreat costs. But the Galarmine is almost working against us here. It's actually so funny. What are they going to Echoing Horn back? Okay, cool. Just a Zigzagoon. That's fine, reasonably. We can also just pitch through a lot of the cards in our hands, and we might be okay. Like, we have access to Crobat. We could waste 1, 2... 3, 4 cards in our hand and use Crobat for 4. Now, okay, they have a Galarian Zapdos. Interesting. Okay, now we could waste through more cards in our hand. So let's go for Great Ball. Great Ball's just going to grab a Crobat. We're going to go Great Ball here again. There's nothing that we want to grab because we don't want to bring up any other Pokemon. We're going to Quick Ball away this. We're going to fail the search because we have access to all these 4 Switch and Hiding Dark Energies. So 6 out of the cards of our deck are allowing us to win the game. So that's basically 1 in every 4 cards. So we should see 1.5 cards approximately off this Crobat. We have more chance to actually win this game than not. And we do have the Switch, so we are going to give our opponent the nice well played. Switch into the E-turn. LYCANROC, no match for E-turn, even though it's fighting type. Kind of a weird matchup, but we take those. 3 prize cards, and let's get it. So we actually hit Azul. We're going to call heads, and we won the flip. Let's go. Let's see exactly what Azul's playing. I don't know if he's streaming right now, but it's always a fun fight. Last time we played was at the Players' Cup Invitational. And you want to know what our hand here is not bad. So let's hope that it's something weak to dark. Alright, cool. Let's see what he flipped up. Oranguru. Cool. So we're actually going to go ahead and Quick Ball away this Umbreon. Yep. We're going to Quick Ball away Umbreon, search through our deck, make sure that we search through everything here. We're going to grab an energy, and we're ready to just go for Crobat for next turn. Even if he plays Path to the Peak, we can Galarmine it. So we're going to put Umbreon down. I don't see there being a reason why not to. You don't need to hold on to Pokemon as much because there's no Pokemon communication in this deck. I don't know what deck he's playing, so I don't want to necessarily Galarmine it. Let's pass here and see exactly what's going on. So, when you're playing against a player like Azul, you just want to make sure that you're keeping a calm, cool demeanor because players like himself and other professional players play Pokemon all the time. There's nothing that's really going to get under their belt. Okay, so we're playing against a Zamazenta V deck. Word. That's not necessarily going to be a deck that we will have a great matchup against. We'd have to actually knock it out with Galarian Moltres or something. So it looks like he's just playing the Turbo ZACIAN deck. Okay, so we can knock out the ZACIAN Vs. We don't have Phoebes or anything, so we're going to have to get out our Galarian Moltres to attack into this Pokemon. And yeah, it looks like he's going to be playing this matchup really aggressive on the Zamazenta V. We don't really have a great way around it, but I mean, it's not terrible. That was a great turn from Azul. So let's go Quick Ball away a Quick Ball. I think that sounds like a good idea. Or actually, we can go Quick Ball away a Galar Mine. I don't think the other Quick Ball is really going to matter. We want to have more Pokemon in our deck. So we're just going to Quick Ball away the Quick Ball. Search our deck for a Crobat. And let's go ahead and bring up this ZACIAN. I think we're going to try to attack into it at least. Bring that up. And let's go for Crobat, see if we can get a good hand here or not. Not great at all, actually. So we are in a bad spot. So that's really what Eternatus can kind of struggle. With all these different Pokemon, we don't have anything. So we're going to give the Heartbreak emote and pass. So we have it all set up, but we're just going to get knocked out in response. And that's going to be the part that's going to be the most difficult here. So let's see what goes on. So our whole game plan is to knock out as many Pokemon as we can, such as ZACIAN V, and then isolate the Zamazenta Vs with Galarian Moltres, if we ever get to that point. Oh, maybe he doesn't have it. Weird. We still have nothing in our hand, though. We didn't play Supporter last turn, so we're on top deck mode. And that's not the right kind of top deck. So let's go ahead and see if we could start doing stuff with this Umbreon. So let's go Mean Look. They already used a switch. 2 switches, actually. So we might be able to Mean Look for a few turns and just absolutely vibe out and take a free prize card. I mean, it's a free prize card and then sacrificing a 2 prize card Pokemon. But it does give us an opportunity to get set up, kind of. Really not much that we can do. I mean, if Azul finds his 3rd switch, we're just going to have to attack with E-Turn and hope that we top deck a supporter, but this could give us some time to get set up in the game. One thing that we don't necessarily want to do is get set up with the Galarian Moltres and then getting it knocked out with Brave Blade, because that's going to take our answers away from the Zamazenta V. Oh, wow, so he has this 3rd switch, so he's going right in with it. I mean, at this point, there's no reason for us not to send up our Eternatus VMAX, so let's go after it. See exactly what's going on. So Azul's going to be up a couple prize cards. Marnie ain't bad. Marnie ain't bad. Let's go for Galar Mine. And we don't really have great attackers that can go through this. I mean, I could go through it with Crobats. That doesn't sound too bad, actually. So yeah, let's just build up a Crobats. Let's go Marnie. And see if we could draw into a Pokemon. Maybe another Crobat here wouldn't be too bad. Qwilfish could attack through it as well. But I don't think we're necessarily going to get the last 3 cards that we need. I also don't feel good risking the switch. So let's go Crobat. See if we could rip 3 Pokemon here. I mean, we got pretty close, right? But no Galarian Moltres in sight this game. So I'm not going to bench down the Crobat. I'm just going to attack here. We do have the boss's orders to get through this Pokemon. We could have maybe got down another Crobat and hit with a Liepard. But they could also just play Crystal Cave and heal. So, again, we got to watch out because they've played 3 switch. It seems like it might just be a quick retreat into this Zamazenta. So we'll have to see exactly what's going on there. We still 2-shot the Zamazenta V. So not necessarily the worst. With the lack of switches, we might be able to just go Galar Mine and just like block something up in the active spots. That might be the play here. We could potentially go for a deck out measure. So let's see what we could do here. We have access to... Let's use Great Ball first. Jeez, it's really not... they're really not helping us here with any of these cards. Let's go for an Eternatus VMAX. I think that sounds okay. And let's go build up this Crobat V. Let's go boss's orders here. So we are going to take a prize card. And let's go for Crobat V. Yeah, and we're really going to continuously struggle. That's fine. Let's go for Dread Ends. How many Galarian or Galar Mine have we gone through? Just 1? Okay, because we want to get through their Crystal Caves too. So that's really the big thing. If we can get through their Crystal Caves, we could be okay. Maybe the Oranguru is just going to stick there for a turn. Oh, Raihan. Could just play an Air Balloon to get the free retreat. Could search that out with Raihan. So we'll have to see what's going on there. But we're going to have to get through a couple Zamazenta Vs. And Azul's just going to try to balance the Crystal Caves, healing off the damage that we're necessarily doing. So we'll see what's going on here with the Oranguru. There's another Cape of Toughness. There's the Air Balloon. And we are absolutely getting pummeled down now. So our big play here is let's go for, well, let's see what Gray Ball brings us. There's Galarian Moltres. Let's drop that down because that sounds very important. Let's go Dire Flame Wings. Attach here. Let's go switch into this. And then I'm just going to play Marnie. I don't want to necessarily give Azul another card, but it is one of those things where I want to try to find a Galar Mine if possible. Did find the Galar Mine. So let's go ahead and play that card then. How many energies have we got through? Not enough. So let's go Galar Mine here. So maybe you won't be able to get the active. And we can go Venomous Fang here. So that's going to bring it to 80 damage. And we just need to hope that he hits us for 130 this turn. Has played 2 Boss's Orders as well. So I feel like there's a good chance that he does not have Crystal Cave or does not have Boss's Orders. And we could just be in a generally okay spot. Found his last switch. Jeez. It's going to be tough for us to deal with, but that's okay. Let's see what we can get going on here. So let's shuffle this deck up a little bit. I don't think I care about the Zigzagoon too much anymore. I'm just going to grab a card that I don't need to put in the bottom in my hand so we can put it at the bottom of our deck with Marnie. So we can get something good set up here. So we actually grabbed nothing, which puts us into a very dangerous spot. So we now lose the game since Azul's able to attack us again. That's if Azul's ever able to find a Boss's Orders in this game. So we would have loved to find Switch to force Azul to have double Boss's Orders. So we're really we're playing with fire here. We're going to be 1 turn away from winning this game. And that's really what we got to focus on. We're 1 turn away from winning this game if he attacks the Crobat V. And with the Rotom Phone, if there is a Boss's Orders, he's probably not going to grab it into his hand. This has enough retreat cost. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, yeah, and I think there's going to be a Boss's Orders in that hand. I mean, there should be a Boss's Orders within the next 3 cards, so he should have a Boss's Orders available on top of his deck, regardless of anything. And this tells me that he might not have it. Maybe they're in his prize cards or something like that. The Crystal Caves is going to stop us from getting the knockout with the Galarian Moltres. We still might have access to Liepard, which could help us here. So we're getting the knockout. Let's see if we can get out the Liepard for the knockout. Because we're doing 190, so we're going to be 30 damage short. 40 damage short, 40 damage short. So let's send this up because we get the energy with Dire Flame Wings. I mean, at this point, we really don't have much else that we can do. I'm not able to get the knockouts. Now, I could go Galar Mine and hope again for next turn. But we can't knock that one out either. So let's go Galar Mine. Let's bring up the Guru and see exactly if he cannot get out of the active. So let's go Boss's Orders, bring this up. And let's see. This is the best we can do. We're gonna go for a deck out strategy. Azul's played 4 Switch. So if he has another Air Balloon, that's fine. But we'd have to get the Air Balloon and everything set up. And how many Crystal Caves is he down to? He's down 2 of them. So he has access to probably another Crystal Cave. At this point, we're really just like... there's not much that we can do. I don't want to play Research because that's going to ruin our strategy. So let's go ahead here and, I mean, there's no reason for us not to use Dire Flame Wings. Let's use that again, just so we can actually retreat out of here if we want to. Let's go ahead here and pass. It's really awkward. He might just have it where you can just go Crystal Cave, attach, retreat, boss, game on the Eternatus VMAX. So we were put in a really awkward situation. And he has all the right tools to probably get out of this situation. But it is what it is. So there's the Crystal Cave. So we will have access to now free retreat out of there. And there's the boss. So it is what it is. It happens. But it was still a pretty close game. That's what we got going on for this video today, peeps. We showed you exactly how Eternatus can function as a beatdown deck, and how some of its like new Galar Mine with gusting can work in some cases. It doesn't always work, and I mean, Azul having access to those crystal caves and playing all those switches early certainly gave us an out, but not all things are going to work out with it, and Azul is a fantastic player overall. So give this video a like if you loved watching that game. It's not every day you get to play against a cool player like Azul on the ladder. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We just passed 5,800 subs. That'd be absolutely sick. And leave a comment below letting me know what you think about this deck. Again, shout out to Daichi Shimeda for coming up with this list and really showcasing how cool Eternatus can be. I think it's not entirely as dead as people think it is, so we'll have to keep on trying it and seeing if there's a new way to break it without Pokemon communication. That being said, I gotta go edit this video, so I'll catch up with all y'all later. Have a great one. Peace out. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's become a channel member. It's one of those things where I appreciate every single person who watches my videos, and I mean, that's really where it counts, but for the channel members, they've gone out of their way to financially support me, and I truly appreciate that gesture. It's one of those things when I started channel memberships up on my channel, and I just didn't know if anyone was ever going to do it, so I truly appreciate everyone taking the plunge, taking a leap of trust, and investing in me as a content creator. Truly makes a difference for me each and every month. If you haven't already thought about becoming a channel member, you might want to contribute to the channel, and I do put everything back into the channel to make it the best possible place to watch for Pokemon TCG content. Again, I truly appreciate everyone. Thank you so much. Cheers. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.